quote a very, 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 very dear friend of mine. I don't agree with a single thing he said. I have seen moments where the forces of nature required midwives and doctors and nurses. I have seen moments where my wife had to grit her teeth and I held her hand, attempting to be my charmable best as the spinal tap was introduced to her spine. I have seen the forces of nature come to such a head that my son, and I might mention my daughter, twice over, came into the hands of someone I had never met. As they slipped into that doctor's arms, they offered me the scalpel, the little scissor things. And it's like a primordial sense that says, in all that craziness, you know what you're supposed to do. So I took them. I took the scalpel, and they held out the umbilical cord. It wasn't as if I thought, Scott, because I always have a little voice that's saying, Scott, do this, calm down, chill out, have fun, relax. You need a job, get the job. This one wasn't any such voice. It was as if the hands into which the scissors had been laid said, go that way. So I cut it twice over, mind you. It's a lot thicker than you might think. Roughly 6 years later, in a wave of what I think is inspiration, I wrote a poem. How it's at that point a hand reaches down and untethers you from the earth, and the boat of you floats out into the sea. And you never know what the other boats are going to be like that you bump into. You bump into some and it sort of goes clunk. And you bump into others and it goes and you go, whoa! So the second poem came around. Mind you, this happened twice. I gave that poem to a lot of people I knew, roughly 30-something people. And they all said, oh my God, I don't want to be a boat lost at sea. This poem's depressing. Of course, there's the Scott voice saying, ha! That's the most cool thing you can have. A sense of detachment, a sense of peace, bouncing around on the deep blue sea with the moon over your head, nobody on board, not even you. Boom, 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 boom. Of course, Hemingway pops up all flippin' time, which is really weird. So I wrote another poem. And I only bring this up because this is the point I think many of us are trying to make, that it's not idolatry to say that many moments can be just It's fabulous. This is not a quantitative exercise. This is not a volume from 0 to 10. This is not some Colonel Kurt sitting in a forest saying, don't use your judgment. This is being whoever you want to be or who you are at the time, then and now, always. So it was not with a bit of dishonor I wrote the next poem called The Music of Knocking Boats. I set both my children free from their mother. Yet had I not, someone else would have done it for me. What sweet music. What sweet music. Dear souls, tap against one another in the dark. Because you know, if your heart is in that moment that it beats with them, theirs beats with you too. My kids, mind you, won't get this poem until much, much later. We don't know where this starts. Mind you, I have spent a great deal of time in deep meditation wondering, where does this start? I have yet to find an answer. The only answer I have is that no one has ever found an answer, nor will they. It's the sweet, gentle tidal seas that happen to bump us together at night. Love you guys. Thanks.